Mali is once again at the epicenter of a geopolitical earthquake. This isn't just another headline, it's a critical juncture for African sovereignty, a test of true independence against the insidious forces of internal strife and external manipulation. The recent arrests of high ranking military officers shrouded in secrecy and suspicion signal a profound crisis that could unravel the fragile gains of the anti imperialist movement in the Sahel. Mali, a nation synonymous with defiance against neocolonialism, is making headlines for all the wrong reasons. This time, the narrative isn't about expelling foreign forces or confronting jihadist threats. It's about something far more unsettling, the alleged unraveling of its own revolutionary core. Reports indicate the arrest of over 20 high ranking soldiers, including generals, accused of plotting to overthrow the military government. More than 50 individuals are suspected of involvement in this alleged conspiracy. The most explosive detail? The purported involvement of a French intelligence operative, Yann Vezilier, caught in the crosshairs of this unfolding drama. This isn't merely an internal security matter, it's a geopolitical tremor. The implications for West Africa, and indeed for the broader African continent's struggle for self-determination, are immense. A revolution that promised liberation now faces the chilling prospect of internal implosion. Since 2020, Mali has emerged as a vanguard in Africa's renewed resistance against external domination. Its bold actions sent shockwaves across the continent and through Western capitals. The decision to expel French troops, a symbolic rejection of lingering colonial influence, was a watershed moment. Mali further asserted its independence by severing ties with ECOWAS, an organization often perceived as a proxy for Western interests. It then forged a formidable alliance with Burkina Faso and Niger, forming the Alliance of Sahel States, AES, a bloc committed to collective security and shared sovereignty. This strategic pivot saw Mali increasingly turn towards new partners like Russia and China, seeking genuine, non-conditional cooperation. General Assimi Goïta, who ascended to power through two coups, articulated a clear vision: an end to Western puppet regimes and an absolute rejection of colonial interference. This narrative resonated deeply with anti-imperialist sentiments across Africa, yet this very revolution, born of defiance, now appears to be shaking from within, not from external pressure, but from the heart of its own military establishment. The details emerging from Bamako are deeply concerning, painting a picture of a state grappling with profound internal fissures. Multiple credible reports confirm the detention of over 20 soldiers, including senior officers, on charges of plotting a coup. The alleged involvement of a French intelligence agent, Yann Vezilier, adds a sinister layer to these accusations, fueling suspicions of continued foreign meddling. These arrests were conducted discreetly, over several days, suggesting a calculated operation rather than a spontaneous reaction. The chilling silence from the junta regarding these high-profile detentions is particularly alarming. There has been no official public statement, no transparency, and no clear indication of due process. This lack of accountability raises critical questions about the nature of the Malian state under the junta. Is this a genuine preemptive strike against a legitimate threat, or is it a calculated purge? The absence of official communication fosters an environment of fear and speculation, leading many to ask, is Mali's revolution, once a beacon of hope, now beginning to consume its own? The unfolding situation in Mali is not an isolated incident. It carries profound implications for the entire Sahel region and beyond. Mali, alongside Burkina Faso and Niger, formed the nucleus of a new African resistance, inspiring millions with their defiance against entrenched power structures. Their collective stance challenged the very foundations of ECOWAS, France's enduring influence, and even the strategic interests of the United States in the region. If Mali succumbs to internal strife, the ripple effects could destabilize the entire Sahel movement. The Alliance of Sahel States, a nascent symbol of African agency, could fracture. Burkina Faso's Captain Traoré, a key figure in the AES, is already navigating complex internal and external pressures. Niger is still recovering from the economic fallout of sanctions, while Guinea and Chad watch nervously, their own political trajectories uncertain. The West, particularly France, is undoubtedly observing these developments with keen interest. For anti-imperialist observers, the alleged involvement of a French operative is not coincidental. It reinforces a long-held suspicion that former colonial powers continue to exert influence, often through covert means, to undermine African nations that dare to chart an independent course. This crisis, therefore, is a critical test of African resilience against both internal vulnerabilities and persistent external machinations. The official narrative points to a foiled coup attempt, a necessary measure to protect the state. However, a growing chorus of analysts and observers offers a more cynical interpretation that these arrests constitute a preemptive purge. This perspective suggests that General Goita is systematically eliminating dissent within the military, particularly targeting officers who may be critical of his extended rule or the junta's human rights record. It is crucial to recall Goita's initial promise to hold elections in 2024. This commitment was subsequently abandoned, with the transition period unilaterally extended to 2030. Such extensions, common in military-led transitions, often signal a consolidation of power rather than a genuine commitment to democratic transfer. When power becomes so concentrated, any form of disagreement or independent thought can be reframed as treason. This raises a fundamental question for those who champion African sovereignty. Is the current Malian leadership truly committed to a new democratic future, or is it merely replicating the authoritarian tendencies of the regimes it overthrew? Was there a genuine coup plot, or was this an opportune moment to tighten the grip on power, silencing potential rivals under the guise of national security? The distinction is vital, for it determines whether Mali is moving toward genuine liberation or merely exchanging one form of authoritarianism for another. While the geopolitical chessboard sees generals and foreign agents as pawns, the average Malian citizen remains caught in a harsh reality. Their primary concerns are not the intricacies of military politics, but the tangible struggles of daily life. Jihadist attacks, far from ceasing, continue to plague the nation, particularly in the central and northern regions. Basic services such as electricity remain unreliable, with frequent blackouts disrupting lives and livelihoods. Poverty, exacerbated by sanctions and instability, remains a pervasive challenge. Crucially, the promise of democratic elections, a cornerstone of any legitimate transition, remains unfulfilled since 2020. The initial hope that the military intervention would pave the way for a more responsive and accountable government is fading. The dream of Africa rising without foreign chains is powerful, but it rings hollow if the new leadership becomes as authoritarian, or even more so, than the governments they replaced. The Malian people yearn for genuine change, for stability, and for a government that prioritizes their well-being over political maneuvering. They did not endure years of struggle against external interference only to face a new form of internal oppression. They seek true liberation, not merely a change of masters, whether foreign or domestic. The legitimacy of Mali's revolution ultimately rests on its ability to deliver tangible improvements and uphold the fundamental rights of its citizens. The alliance of Sahel states, Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso, was envisioned as the vanguard of a new African order. This bloc was meant to embody a future free from neocolonialism, a testament to African agency and collective self-defense. Their defiance against ECOWAS and their strategic pivot away from traditional Western partners marked a significant shift in regional dynamics. However, if internal betrayals, purges, and power struggles continue to plague its member states, the very foundation of the Sahel alliance could crumble. Such internal instability would not only undermine the alliance's credibility, but also jeopardize Africa's most promising attempt at forging a truly self-directed future. The eyes of the continent, and indeed the world, are fixed on Bamako. If Mali, a symbol of this new resistance, falters due to internal divisions, the message will be stark and disheartening. It will suggest that while Africa possesses the will to expel external forces, the greater challenge lies in governing itself without succumbing to internal fragmentation or authoritarian tendencies. The path to genuine sovereignty is fraught with peril, and only time will tell if the Sahel Alliance can navigate these treacherous waters and fulfill its revolutionary promise. This is Politics, Power, and Policy, where we don't just report the news, we dissect its deeper implications. The crisis in Mali is a microcosm of Africa's ongoing struggle for true liberation, a complex interplay of internal dynamics and persistent external pressures. Understanding this moment is crucial for anyone invested in geopolitics, African sovereignty, and the global fight against imperialism. Subscribe to our channel, like this video to amplify its reach, and comment below with your insights and questions. Your engagement fuels our mission to uncover the truth, because the future is being written right now, and we are here to help you read between the lines. And until next time, my friends, stay safe and informed.